Philippe Auclair, of course, is France football's man in the UK. Good afternoon, Philippe.
Good afternoon to you.
We'll start. I mean, there has been a real backlash against Nasri. I mean, we're hearing it sort of within the camp. What about sort of the average French football fan? What are they saying?
I would say that the reactions are very, very negative towards Nasri, what is perceived to have been his behavior, the incidents, the finger on the mouth, and the signals sent to the French press corps after scoring against England, his behavior on the pitch as well, when he's seen by so many people as hogging the ball, slowing down the play. Stories filtering from the training camp, then the insults which he proffered at a French journalist after France's elimination, which honestly we cannot quote. Absolutely disgraceful.
I read them. They were quite shocking, weren't they?
Really, really shocking stuff. And he's been seen, I think, he's partly responsible for that, of course, because of his behavior, but in a way, he is a screen on which people project their frustration at what they've seen from their national squad during the tournament, and he's seen as being typical of a kind of behavior that doesn't suit an international player. And the backlash has been absolutely awful. I mean, people are asking basically for him to be dropped and never picked again.
Off the back of this defeat, where does this leave Laurent Blanc? More likely to stay on and put things right, or more likely to jump ship?
Well, before the game against Spain, it seemed that an offer would come from the French FA asking him to carry on at least until the 2014 World Cup. The manner of the exit of the tournament might have made a few people wonder whether that was the right thing to do or not, and might also have led Laurent Blanc to ask himself questions about this group of players, which he's put every trust in ever since he came on the back of a catastrophic tournament in South Africa. It shouldn't be forgotten that, before that defeat against Sweden, which in many ways is one that people have found far more difficult to accept in France, it still had strung, 23 undefeated games together after the defeat against Belarus in his first ever competitive game, and it has managed to build something on ruins. There's no other word. But now people are asking themselves the questions: well, were we mistaken? Have we still not got out of the bus of Neisner? Is it still the same situation we're in? And I would say most people would tend to be in favor of Laurent Blanc carrying on. Who would take his place for starters? And the situation now is that there'll be a few days of reflection, and by Laurent Blanc himself, by the French FA, there will be a meeting convened in the first days of July. Then a decision will be taken.
It's very interesting. The two countries went out, France and England. England with great heart, but possibly less skill. France, everybody felt that they just didn't do themselves justice. They just, if they'd had a bit of what England had, and England had a bit of what France had, they might both still be in the tournament.
Well, you're taking words out of my mouth, or you're reading my mind. If France had anything like the spirit, the humility, the bravery of England, and had managed to mix that with their technical ability, they could have gone a long, long way in that tournament. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. That is really what is hurting people so much, is the manner of the exit. The fact that France goes out at the quarterfinal stage, in fairness, everybody was more or less thinking that could be the case. It would be a bit difficult. The group was not that easy to get out of. And then we knew we would play against a very, very tough opponent in the quarterfinals. But it's really the manner of the exit. But to give you an idea of the disaffection of the French public for this national team, you might have heard that there were only 252 supporters in Donetsk to see the game against Spain. 252.
Not great.
And that there were 40 people waiting for the team's plane at Le Bourget. And that, by the way, only 2 players stopped to sign autographs. The others just went straight into their cars.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
No,
and finally, Philippe, we've been talking about chipped penalties today after Pirlo's corker last night.
You think of Zidane here?
Well, David Smith has done just that. He said, as good as Pirlo's pen was, why does no one ever talk about Zidane's in the 2006 World Cup, of course, which he chipped over the keeper off the bar?
Yes, the moment where a whole nation's art stopped and thought, Zizou, what have you done? Oh, great.
Yes.
It's not the kind of pen you can afford to miss. There's a very famous example of a French goalkeeper, Michael Landreau, former international, who used to take penalties and who did a panenka, as we call it in French, or in Czech French, and missed it. And believe me, he found it very difficult